Good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. I want to bring another installment in my statement of faith under the heading of service, Christian service. Nothing to do with salvation. Christian service is quite a separate thing to salvation. Under 10.3, I say that I believe that all believers should discover their unique sphere of Christian service. Now I've got one verse for this. It's in 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure, for if you do these things, you shall never fall. Now, I want you to notice that Peter in this verse links two concepts. He talks about your calling and your election. And it's very interesting that he says, give diligence to make your calling and your election sure. Now I take it to mean that Peter is speaking to believers here. Now I do understand that some people think that he's speaking to Israel, and I understand that, but I think that on this occasion he's in his second letter he's broadening his teaching to include Christians, all Christians. And he says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. Now, the unique sphere of service that a Christian has can be described as their calling. They are called by the Lord to a particular ministry, a particular unique sphere of Christian service. And in my statement of faith, I say, I believe that all believers should discover their unique sphere of Christian service. Now, one of the great and one of the most exciting things that any Christian can ever do is to discover what is God's will for their life. And secondly, to discover what is God's service that is unique to them, for them to carry out in life. And that's what Peter's saying. He says, I want you rather, brethren, to give diligence to make your calling and election sure. Now, often people use the word election to mean sort of a fate in which somebody is determined by God to be saved, and that, of course, I don't believe is ever found in Scripture. I believe that election, the word election and the concept of election, has nothing to do with being saved, but has everything to do with serving. It's Christian service that is in view, and the concept of election is where God chooses or he ordains those that he calls to a unique sphere of Christian service. He says, if you do these things, then you will never fall. So what Peter's saying is this: you have your calling, you have discovered what is God's unique calling for you in life, your unique ministry. You have discovered the thing that God has selected you to do, that's the election. Now then, he says, make it sure. Make it sure. You say, hang on a minute, how can an election not be sure? Well, you see, it's very possible to be called to office but never fulfill that office. It's possible to be called by the Lord into a ministry that you never do. It's possible to know what God has called you to do, but never actualize that, never actually put your calling into practice. And so that's what Peter's saying. I say that I believe that all believers should discover their unique sphere of Christian service, and it therefore follows that they should not only discover their unique sphere of Christian service, but they then should make that calling and election sure by doing it. That's the point. And Peter says, if you do that, then you will not fall. Because you see, you will not fall in what way? You will not fail to fulfill God's purpose in your life. That's the point of what he's saying. Now, if people are going to say that election is about God's fate in choosing them to salvation, then why on earth would Peter say, give diligence to make your calling and election sure? Because if it's something that is a matter of fate, then it's going to be sure, isn't it? Irrespective. So therefore, it's not a matter of fate. It is a calling by the Lord in which in eternity past, according to his foreknowledge, he calls those that are his sons into service. But that calling and that election may be lost, and it's important that we give diligence to make our calling and election sure. So this is talking about our Christian service. This is our unique sphere of Christian service. We are to discover it, and we are to make it a living reality in our lives. Well, there we are. I look forward to speaking to you again next time. God bless you. Bye for now.